Hey guys, it's David Tran and this is Wallie number 4. In this episode, I'd love to share with you the gears and the tools and the setup that I use for my job as a developer. Many of you know that I'm a full-time developer and a trainer, which means that I train people how to become developers. And I'm a tech startup founder, so 90% of the time I literally just spend my time on the computer and use some main pieces of software. The first one is for iOS developer. So if you are an iOS developer like me, which means that you build apps for iOS platform, then Xcode is like the best option. It's the only option actually. This is a huge IDE which stands for Integrated Development Environment, which means that you build everything for an app from start to finish. The learning curve for this one is pretty challenging, but as you practice with it over time, I think that it will become intuitive, and when you jump into a new platform, for example, you start to wonder like, I wish that you have Xcode features in this platform, this new platform. The next set of tools is for web development. I actually am a fan of Apple, so I use Safari over Chrome, but when I do development, I will use Chrome. Now the text editor is of course Atom. It is free, it's simple, it's beautiful, it's easy to use, and the nice thing is it's open source on GitHub, so it means that a lot of developers can put into it packages. It's kind of like the plugins so that we can add more features into the app, and it's pretty cool. When it's time to choose a backend, I usually choose Firebase or AWS or Heroku. As a trainer, I produce tons of video content, so it is a must for me to have a great video editor. Now for screencasts like this one, I use ScreenFlow. The ScreenFlow is purely for screencasts, but it's also for video editing as well. The downside is it's $100, so it's pretty expensive. Now if you only need a screencast for your app, for example, use the built-in QuickTime player, which is free, and also you just click it and it will record your screen, the app screen. When I produce a video like a vlog like this, for example, I use Final Cut Pro, because in Final Cut Pro it renders the scene a lot more powerful, it's a lot faster, and also it has color grading tool and other plugins that ScreenFlow doesn't offer, so Final Cut Pro is the best thing for me. But other people use things like Adobe Premiere, which I don't know anything about, so I use Final Cut Pro because it is pretty standard in the Apple ecosystem. I rarely share this on this channel, but when I do apps for either for my clients or the apps that I teach people how to build at Wallie, I am the one who designs all the pages, all the UI and the UX of the app. So I need a great design tool. That is when Sketch comes in. Now I am not sponsored by any companies or any products in this video, but Sketch, it's $100, it's expensive, but I love it. Like for a professional designer, you will love this if you're into UI and UX design, I'm sure about that. The amazing thing about Sketch is it has sites like Sketch app sources. This one is kind of like an open source like GitHub, but for designers, that people will go there and share their design, Sketch design files, and you can literally download that and learn that how do people draw the shapes, how do people draw the shadow, and learn about the colors. It's amazing, it's wonderful. Very recently I know about another tool called Framer. This I think is more advanced than Sketch in terms of real-time prototyping, but for design purposes, I still love Sketch. With this, for software side, I would like to share one thing for you as a developer. Now, in the past, maybe 7-8 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, if you want to build an app or a product and you ship that to the world, for example, when I built Wallie, and every year, over the last 2 years, we're blessed to have 30,000 students and millions of people watch our videos. Now to do that, in the past, you need like a team of designers, a team of front-end developers, a team of back-end developers, and then you build your front-end, you build your back-end, and then you have to pay like $5,000 for hosting and server, every month, and then you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars every year for developers. All of those things. It's really hard to get a company up and running. But things has changed now. You can literally hop online right now if you don't have development skills. We, like myself, can teach you that on this channel at Wallie Pro. And then from those techniques that you learn, you can literally build stuff, host it on a server for free. You can publish your app like overnight on App Store or Play Store on Google. Your backend can be like Firebase or AWS. It is either free or it's extremely low cost. Alright, let's move on and talk about tools and gears. In this episode, I will share briefly because I want to focus on only the main tools that help me as a developer, because I know most of you are developers out there. So let me know in the comment section if you would love to see like a full studio tour and walk you through every single thing that I have. I would love to do that if you want to see that. Alright, the first one, drum roll please, is my daily drive computer is a MacBook Pro. I use a 15-inch MacBook Pro with Retina display, the one with the touch bar. I upgrade this version to the 512 gigs of SSD. Now this allows me a lot of freedom storage-wise because I produce a lot of videos content, so I need like a real long time before I have to back everything up. For the touch bar though, like as an Apple fan, it hurts to say this, but I don't think that if you got a MacBook Pro, you shouldn't have the touch bar version because it's more expensive, and also I think that I rarely use that, so it's more of like a marketing purposes. Next is display, external displays. For developers, it's nearly a must to have this. It will boost our productivity a lot to have an external display rather than using just the built-in like computer display like this. Otherwise, the whole day I would be like this, right? So recently I just got the new LG 27-inch 4K display. No, none of these things are sponsored. Now for some of you developers out there, you may know that when we work, we have like two browsers window, the text editor and a few terminal windows, and it has all over the place. So usually we have one or two external displays, but personally I only like one display. So this one is a 27-inch and it's 4K, so I can literally have everything on the one screen, and I love it. Then it comes for the mouses. Now this one I'm simple. I use Apple mouses and trackpads for 90% of the time for my development job. I don't use the trackpad as much, but when I design apps, it really helps to have the trackpad to zoom in, to pan into the canvas, and also when I do video production, I can zoom into the video timeline. I just need that. I know all these tools are great, but over the years I try to avoid doing tech review because I consider myself as a trainer first and foremost. And I know that when you start out, when I see people that have tons of gears, it will be like a little bit discouraging, you know what I mean? But when I started back in college, I didn't have any of these stuff. Like literally, I only have a 5 years old MacBook Pro, and it is so slow. It cannot do anything. It cannot build anything. I can only write some C++ code on the terminal, and that's it. Anytime I want to build anything at all, I have to stay in the library, and literally every day could be like I jump into different classes, I go back into the library whenever I have time between my jobs or between classes, and then I stay at the library until midnight, like wear out my eyes, and then after midnight, if most of the time I still need to do some work, I will sneak into the lab room because the lab at my computer science department, it is in a dorm's building. So most people at my computer science department, they don't know that they can get into the back door of the dorm building to access the lab. So I will stay there like the entire lab is myself for the entire night. And honestly, that is how I started. I don't have any computers whatsoever at all. And I think that without all of these gears, you'll figure out a way to have that. You can borrow, you can beg, you can use in a library, but I think for myself and for so many other people told me that like what matters is we have to start. What matters is every day we push ourselves, we pump ourselves up to create something, to build something, and everything will change. We add values to the marketplace, to the clients, the companies that we work for, and we'll be able to upgrade all these things. But at first, we have to start. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section what do you think, and if you love to see more of this stuff. If you like, I will probably do an in-depth studio tour and all the tools that I use. So let me know in the comment section. And please like this video so that I can have some feedbacks from you. And please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel so that every single week I can continue to add more values into this channel for you. That's it, Wallie episode number 4. I see you tomorrow. Bye bye.